Melissa Jakes, the Olivia Pope of virtual and live events, is the CEO and founder of Rescue Event Planning, a Washington, D.C.-based boutique event planning firm to influencers, organizations, and corporations. During this pandemic, Melissa's expertise in online event planning has become a hot commodity. Her company also provides several courses on topics related to event planning and entrepreneurship. She gives mommypreneurs the tools and services to balance career, business ownership, and management with family. Melissa has spoken at several events such as Facebook Boost and conducted workshops at universities and small businesses. She has been featured in several publications such as Event Planner Association Podcast, Rent My Wedding Magazine, Morgan State University, iHeartRadio, CEO Blog Nation, BET Influencer, and Event Planner Expo 2020. She provides entrepreneurs with special tools to combat what she calls FWD, fear, worry, and doubt obstacles, in order to break through and become successful owners. Mommypreneurs, let's welcome Melissa Jakes.
Happy Wednesday, Mommypreneurs. Oh, it's been such a minute, but I'm so glad we are back at it. And we're doing it again. And you guys, it is so needed. This topic is totally needed. So I want you guys right now, I need you to invite and share, okay? Because we have a special guest, okay? She's one of my favorites. I love her so much. But before we get into it, we need to invite and share and talk about this as well, because this is so important. So our topic today is going to be taking time out. One is making the time, but taking time out for balancing business, mommyhood, and just life. And as this is mental health awareness month, this is so important as women that we make sure everything can be balanced as much as possible. Some people don't like to use the word balance because it's kind of like, how can you really balance it all? It's really hard just to manage it all, right? Just getting things going and managing. And so that's why I wanted to make sure we talked about this today, and also bring on a special guest, a doctor that can help us discuss different things on how we can 5 to 6 quick tips and hacks, if you want to call it, on what we can do to have that great balance between running a business, being a mom, having a significant other, being maybe you're a caretaker of a family member, a mother, a father, a grandmother, whichever. You still have life going on besides your business. And how do we make sure everything is in alignment? So I am going to bring on our guest, Dr. Sari D. Alemi. She has a practice out in McLean, Virginia, that does acupuncture, but she also focuses on just wellness and health. So come on to the stage, Dr. Sarah. How are you?
Hi, good. Melissa, thank you for having me. Excited to be here because this is one of my favorite topics, just because so many of my patients do have a hard time, like you said, maybe we don't call it balancing, but managing their time in such a way that they really do get to live an optimal life.
Absolutely. And, I have to be honest. I haven't managed. I haven't balanced. The past 2 weeks have been crazy with family members passing away, to still trying to manage a business, to just, I don't know. I feel like the feng shui in the house got off. I used to be on it. And I don't know, as maybe the cicadas came out and messed up my vibe. I'm not sure.
And that's the thing, though. There's always going to be something that comes up, right? I mean, and unfortunately with life, not only is there always something, but you never know what life is going to throw at you, which is why it's so important that you make the time, right? You have to make time for yourself if you want to be a better mom, a better boss, a better partner, whatever it is. I mean, and I think so it's not only making the time, but it's also getting over any assumptions we have. Because I think that as antiquated as we might like to think that taking time for yourself is selfish, I still think that a lot of women do think that self-care, self-time is selfish, and we need to change that narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe also it's sometimes people feel like, well, if I'm not focused on my business, this is my income, things will fail. But if you're not healthy, then everything's going to fall apart.
Absolutely. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. So that's something that I've had to learn the hard way, right? As an entrepreneur myself, right? I was just telling Melissa, guys, I worked 7 days the other week, 7 days, including on Mother's Day, because I was like, you know what? People want me. And if I don't show up, then I'm going to lose that business. And what happened? I burnt out.
Yep.
Right. So you've got to make the time.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what's the first thing we can do. How do we try to get back into balance, try to keep the balance going on?
Absolutely. So guys, there's a couple of different things we can do. Some of these you might be familiar with. Some of these might be a little more exotic to you, but I'm going to start with some life hacks that you can do to kind of help balance your time with some things that you can do at home. Number 1, move, right? Even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, get up from your desk, go outside, stretch your legs, or even if it's a rainy day, just walk around the house. Even if walking for 10 minutes is all you can do, that has proved in so many different studies to be beneficial for your health, not only your mental health, but your physical health as well. Again, it doesn't matter when you do it. You just need to make sure that you have time in your schedule where you get up and you actually stretch your legs. Some people like to exercise. Some people find running, other kinds of cardio to be cathartic, right? But honestly, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you're moving, your legs are stretching, that sort of thing, it's really going to help you clear your mind, focus, get all those really good mood endorphins flowing.
And, when Dr. says make time, right? That's not like, oh, yeah, I got time. Because I've been guilty where all of a sudden I have meetings back to back to back to back to back. And I've been sitting down since 8 a.m. to 5. Is really, because people are still virtual, it's really intentionally saying, no, I can't do something in this hour block or 2 hour blocks.
You have got to make a block for yourself. And again, this is something I'm guilty of too. So again, whenever I tell people these recommendations, it's coming from a place of understanding, right? It's definitely not judging. You have got to have at least one block of time every day on your schedule. Right. You might have to shift it, but as long as you continue to have a block, again, what I recommend is sometimes it's really hard for people to have a full hour, particularly since we are working from home and we do have so many meetings. So what I recommend is have maybe 3 10 to 15 minute blocks throughout the day. And again, one of those times can be used to exercise, walk around the house. I don't care what it is. Just make sure you get up and you move.
I love that. I love that 3 15-minute blocks in a day.
Exactly. Because it's whatever is going to fit your schedule better. If you're the person who does have a downtime during lunch, fantastic, do that. But if you're someone kind of like us, right, who you never know when clients or patients or kids are going to need you, then you know what? Smaller is going to fit you better, and smaller is just as effective.
Yeah, I love that. And so what would number 2 be?
All right. So number 2, and again, guys, this is something that I want you to give a try. It might sound a little crazy, but again, you only need actually 5 or 10 minutes for this one. Meditation or breathing, kind of doing different breathing work, breath work. Those are really going to help you. It's going to help center you. It's going to bring you back into the present moment. Because a lot of times when we get working, we get so kind of worked up about the future. We might start feeling anxious and stressed. And whenever we're having those kind of feelings, that means we're not in the present moment, right? Our mind is somewhere else. So we need to kind of realign our mind and our body. And again, it really only takes 5, maybe 10 minutes for the more advanced practitioner. But again, and when I mean meditation, I don't mean you need to download an app and go through some whole guided meditation. Although for some of you, that might be worth it, right? Particularly if you like to follow along with something. All I'm asking is that you get up from your desk or even just turn around, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing. Even if you just tell yourself, right now I'm breathing in and now I'm breathing out. Again, that's all you need to do. 5 to 10 minutes of breathing. You can meditate. It doesn't matter. Thoughts can come in and out. Fantastic. It doesn't matter. You're just taking that time to realign yourself, bring yourself back to the present moment. And again, just like moving does, studies have shown how effective and how powerful 5 to 10 minutes of meditation can be for a person if they get it done every day. And so again, this is something you can kind of do throughout your day. Some people like to do it in the morning, in the evening, as a great way to kind of start the day, or as a great way to wind down. You can definitely do that. But like moving, I would say take 10 minutes during the day to move and another 5 minutes to breathe. Because oftentimes, again, we just get so tight and tense, we don't even know it. So in addition to bringing us back to the present moment, when we meditate and we work on our breath, it also really helps, it helps to release physical tension, right? Yeah. So we want to make sure that none of us are getting, back aches, neck pain, those sorts of things down the road. So by taking time to breathe correctly, it kind of helps to keep anything from happening that we'll have to go out and actually get, a doctor's visit or something.
Right. And you said something so important that you guys, I'm not a meditator, right? I did meditation. I have done breathing work for labor. So I haven't done it since labor. We're preparing for it and whatnot. But I was reading it as either Bill Gates or some other folks, like that is one thing that really, when they talk about success, is really making sure they're centered and they start their day off with meditation. I really like the idea of ending the day with meditation because definitely have been guilty of waking up to going right to that phone. What emails did I miss? Exactly. Or being in bed at night, about to get to sleep. Is there any emails that I haven't responded to yet? And I think it would probably be a better way, like you said, of the refocus and the anxiety and that tension of beginning of letting go and at the end of that breathing and letting go.
Absolutely. And so like I said, so sometimes it's great to do it during the day, particularly if it's a stressful day, just because it's a good check-in and it helps to release physical tension as well. But at the end of the day, like you said, you have all of these things running through your mind. And if you do between, reading your last email and turning out that light, it's going to help you fall asleep better, right? Which is then going to help you operate better the next day. But two, by recentering yourself, pulling yourself back to the present moment, it's actually going to help clarify anything you've been thinking about, like any decisions that are still on your mind. You're actually going to be able to kind of think about them a lot better, have a lot better focus, a lot better clarity, which is then again just going to help you go to bed better because you're going to have a better peace of mind.
Yes. So number 3, I love to do.
Okay. I'm glad you do it. Some people are going to give me a funny look because, guys, journaling. So number 3 is journaling, or some other kind of cathartic exercise that you can do. Again, we talked about how exercise can be cathartic, like physically and mentally. Journaling can be cathartic mentally and emotionally. And again, this is something that it does not have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be anything particular. Just like with the meditation, you don't have to like follow some form of meditation or this or that. It's not about rules. It's about what works for you, what feels best for you. So for journaling, you could get a nice journal. Some people like to have, something kind of fancy to make themselves feel good in the moment. But honestly, take some sticky notes and just write down whatever you're feeling, whatever is on your mind. Sit back, go back over what you just wrote down, right? So cathartic to be like, yeah, okay, great. I've got that out. And it's amazing how that can get the juices flowing.
Yeah. And I know there are, like, I'm that person that loves to get those pretty little notebooks at Hobby Lobby or at Home Goods or TJ Maxx. Right. But what I have learned is that notebooks that actually deal with meditation or help you really think, they have like prompt questions.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that really, I know, for some people that may look at the blank page and like, okay, I had a great day today. Like, what else do I need to write? But those things that actually have those prompt questions have really helped me be able to journal in a better way, or, really get those juices flowing or whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I mean, I really like the fact that you brought that up, to have a prompt, because again, particularly if you're not used to journaling, it can be a bit daunting to be like, oh my gosh, here's like this big blank piece of paper. Yeah. Like, you really want me to write more? I'm already doing so much as it is. And it's kind of like, great. If you have a prompt, it's kind of like, okay, well, what are you feeling now? Or what's been going on? And again, from there, it's amazing where like your mind and the pen are going to take you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about number 4.
All right. So number 4 is probably going to be a bit more exciting for you. And while the first 3, again, only take maybe 5 to 15 minutes, honestly, so you can do the first 3 kind of throughout the day, every day. This one is maybe something you can do for yourself, maybe like once a week. So maybe when you've got like half an hour to an hour. So pampering yourself at home and doing like kind of like an at-home spa, right? And again, this is going to make you feel good in 2 different ways. It's going to physically make you feel good, right? If you do something like, you take a bath and you've got like a clay mask going on at your face at the same time. But then mentally, emotionally, because you're taking care of yourself physically, you're also going to have that moment to kind of relax. And I think a lot of us, we might kind of poo-poo relaxation. We think it's a little bit selfish. We think it's a little bit more indulgent, but it's not. It's just says that relaxation is just as important as eating right, sleeping, and moving. All of those are required to have optimal health and well-being. And what I like about kind of pampering yourself at home is there's so many different ways to do so. So there's going to be something you like. I, for one, I'm really, I guess I'm more intrigued into doing a lot of like at-home facial work just because that's something I do in the office, right? So it's something that's actually really popular these days. I guess some of you might know it. Melissa, you might know that you might have seen these little jade rollers, like little quartz. I think there's like this like TikTok 10-day like a gua sha jaw challenge. Again, these are some things you can do at home. There's so many videos on how to do different masks, different facial techniques that are not only going to make you feel better, but some of them might actually make you look better too, which then doubles down on you feeling better, right?
Right.
And also talks about how some of this can be like, half an hour to an hour. Honestly, some of these things only take 5 to 10 minutes as well. Let's say you just had a stressful week. You're like, oh, I just need something for myself. Then you know what? Go in the bathroom, wash your face, put on a mask. When you're done, put some little oil on your face and just take that jade roller that you've got stashed in your freezer and just roll it up and out. And you're going to feel so fantastic that the rest of the day is going to be a breeze. This is something that a lot of people actually come to me for just because they prefer, someone else to do it for them. But again, guys, there's so many at-home tools these days that we have accessible. Again, like anywhere from like $5 to $10 on Amazon. And it's such a great way to indulge in self-care, but like in a healthy way.
Right. And I didn't know that the quartz roller goes in the freezer.
So it doesn't have to, because jade and rose quartz are naturally cooler stones. So they actually stay cool regardless. But a lot of people will put them in the freezer, and it just kind of adds to that at-home spa-like appearance. And particularly if you've got puffiness. Some of you guys, maybe you have allergies or you're just not sleeping that well, right? Because you've been up all night, not journaling or, getting your stress out, right? You might need that cool roller to really help depuff yourself.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
And again, too, I was just going to say, you can also just add it to like your morning skincare routine. Again, like 3 minutes, just a little extra zing to start your day off.
Yeah. I try to do a mask once a week.
Okay. Classic.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be doing it more than that.
If that's what I say. I don't think you have to do it more than once a week. I think if you feel like you want to do it more than once a week, go for it. And your skin does fine with it, right? But otherwise, once a week is fine. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So number 5, I think, is so important for people to do, because it really can let go.
Right.
Let's talk about what number 5 is.
All right. So number 5 is one of my favorite, and that is body work. And particularly, you got the usual, like the massage, right? And again, going back to relaxation, I know a lot of people, when they think massage, they really want like the deep tissue or the sports massage, or like, oh yeah, because it really gets into it. And if you've got a lot of tension, sure. But to be honest, it's again, like I was saying earlier, it's just as important that we get something that every now and then is just pure relaxation, just in the moment, zoning out. We need that kind of body work as well. So yes, you can have your sports massage every now and then, but make sure you do like a Swedish massage or some light cupping or something, just maybe like a myofascial release or like craniosacral therapy. There's so many different kinds of body works out there. You just kind of got to Google it. And it's just so important to do. And again, I know as we might want to do this once or twice a week, but if you can do this maybe once a month, take an hour and a half out of your day, half an hour to kind of get there and back, an hour there. This is really going to make such a difference in your overall mood, your health, everything. I think massages and body work in general are just underrated in terms of how they can benefit the body.
Yeah.
Again, it's something that's I think it should be mandatory. I think all insurance should cover body work.
I know, right?
But just FYI, some of you guys might actually have massage covered through your insurance. So it's always worth checking and verifying your benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because you guys could be getting that, just paying your copay. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I have some people who have it. Yeah, exactly. I have some patients who actually get massage benefits, and I'm like, you are incredibly lucky.
Yes. So I like that you said at least once a month you should be going in to get this done. You might not know this off top, but relatively people who do come to you to get this done once a month, have they ever expressed to you, I'm so much better in my business because I've done this? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Just in general. And so not only do they notice that they're more productive, that they tend to be in a better mood, they don't have health issues, but when they don't come in once a month, there's a huge shift. There's a huge noticing. And it's like before they would start massage or body work, it's like they didn't realize all these things that are going on that you can contribute to not taking enough time out for yourself, like poor sleep, like irregular bowel movements or stomach issues, right? Weight gain, fatigue, that kind of thing. But then once they get body work once a month, it's like things just flow more smoothly.
That is so important. And so we just have to schedule once a month, ladies. That's it.
I know. And you know what? And again, it's get over that that feeling that you don't have the time, or that it's a luxury, or that you're being selfish. You're not. You're trying to take care of so many other people that we need to remember. We need to take care of ourselves, right? We would not neglect our car. Obviously, we would not neglect our children. So don't neglect yourself, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yep. And then the last one, I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Yeah. So
I have seen Dr. Sarah's work, and I personally know two people who have gone to Dr. Sarah's work to get this done, and life has improved dramatically.
Right. So one more life hack for kind of helping to manage everything that's going on, everything you're trying to do, acupuncture. Guys, I know needles. Yes, it does involve needles. And I know that people get a little freaked out, right? Because it's needles. And two, many people haven't had it before.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you this, about 70% of my patients have a needle phobia.
Wow.
But they keep coming back. And that's because acupuncture is holistic. So it makes sure to address anything that's going on physically, mentally, emotionally. Some even say spiritually. So acupuncture, yes, it takes a little bit of time, right? You kind of got to go out. You have to see a licensed acupuncturist, and it does take a little, a little courage, a little faith, a little trust, maybe. Mm-hmm. But what I say is, I don't care if you believe in acupuncture or not. I don't care if you think it's a placebo, but the fact is that it works and it doesn't have adverse health effects. And if something makes you feel better, do it, regardless of whether you believe in it or you think it's just a placebo, or you think it's coming from your mind. And the thing is, acupuncture, so for me, I practice acupuncture from a traditional Chinese medicine standpoint, which is all about balance. It's all about having yourself in homeostasis. And so it's kind of like whatever's going on, we can bring you back to center. We can ground you. We can help you focus. Anything that's on your mind or going on in your body, we can take care of that by getting to the root. And again, just kind of like with body work, this is something that I recommend you do maybe once a month, just to kind of like a good check-in, right?
Yeah.
See what's going on and keep you functioning optimally.
And can you get body work and acupuncture done on the same day?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, so I like, for me, for example, I offer both. I offer something called Tuina massage, which is Chinese orthopedic massage, but I also offer acupuncture. And I actually have quite a few patients who have the acupuncture first, right, which kind of starts to shut down the mind and it helps them with whatever actual specific ailments they have. And then once they're kind of a little relaxed, I go into the massage so we can get deeper. We can have more of a stretch, better circulation, that sort of thing. And for patients who may, want something a little bit different in terms of their massage, I'm like, yes, go get a massage, or yes, go get an adjustment. Like, absolutely anything that's going to help create movement inside of your body is fantastic and good to do, and just really going to complement each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Sarah, this has been amazing. It really has. And I really hope that for those who are watching or listening, they really understand the balance and taking time for yourself. It's not, like you said, it's not selfish. It's understanding that if you don't, then you may not even have a business. Like, you might have to check yourself into a mental institution because you haven't worked on yourself. Or like you said, you may get burnout where you're like, I don't even like what I do anymore.
Right.
And that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, especially those who are moms, because they're like, you know what, let me just go back to this 9 to 5 and make sure the kids are good for school because it's too much. But that's because you're still kind of running away from not handling yourself.
Right.
And so you need to just make sure yourself is handled and being centered.
Absolutely. And I think something really important too, Melissa, that we can tell them is not only is it important to make time for all of these things, but I think a lot of us could probably check in right now. And it's kind of like, we would probably be like, okay, yeah, I'm obviously not taking time for myself. Because I think a lot of people don't realize that if they have like, again, if they're having stomach issues, if you're having weight gain, if you're having, what's the word? If sometimes people get thinning hair, sometimes people have sudden insomnia, sometimes even people start to get a little bit of ringing in their ears, fatigue, maybe they're catching colds a little bit more easily, or maybe getting a little bit more irritable than they normally would. These are all signs of chronic stress, and that you're not taking a break, right? Your body's not being able to shut off from that, get up and go mode. Like, if you have stuff going on physically, then that's your body trying to talk to you to say, hey, we need a break, or hey, something has to change. And by just incorporating some of these different things, again, 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes a day, once or twice, even 3 times, if you can really make such a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, or Dr. Sarah, please tell us how we can stay connected. If you do things virtually, in person.
Absolutely. So yeah, I actually do things both virtually and in person, depending on the person's comfort. Obviously, acupuncture and the body work, that's in person, right? But I also do a lot of things virtually. So I do a lot of consultations where I can take people through not only we kind of think what's going on, what might be the root cause of whatever's, showing up in themselves, but we'll do like a dietary therapy. We can learn how to do acupressure. Sometimes I'll do services where I actually walk you through a facial tutorial. So if there's a particular tool that you want to learn at home, just to make yourself feel pretty and relaxed for 10 to 15 minutes, I offer lessons on how to do the facial cupping, the facial gua sha, as well as facial acupressure and massage. Also how to use a dermal roller. Again, a lot of these things are free and available on YouTube, but if you want something that's going to be kind of made or tailored for you and your specific needs, I do a lot of that virtually. And then for those who just want to lay on the table and take a nap and have someone else do the work, I also offer a lot of facial sessions in person too, because again, it's really about just carving out time for you. And I think something we didn't mention, but you know what, it's fine every now and then, a nap. Sometimes it's just fine to just go lay on the couch, the bed, even if it's the floor or someone else's table. Sometimes I swear people just come to me for acupuncture because they just want to nap. 30 minutes of downtime, right? It really makes such a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. That is so true. But this was totally amazing. And you just have my mind going in things that I have to change in my schedule to make sure that I am, one, we're healthy for the business, but also healthy for your children.
Absolutely.
And if you're not healthy for yourself and your family,
right,
everything else is going to crumble.
Exactly. And I mean, we could get into like why it's important to take breaks. I know we kind of did, but again, a lot of people, like you said, they don't realize that when you don't take care of yourself, it's not just you that suffers, it's everyone around you. And that includes your family, that includes your business, and that includes other relationships as well. Like we can get into, decreased focus, concentration, all of that. But again, we don't want to get there, guys.
Right.
Because we hope you don't have it.
Right.
Which is why I want you guys to take the time and either block off an hour every day, right? Depending on what your schedule is, where you can have lunch and then you can either move, meditate, deep breathing, maybe a combination of all, or just again, maybe take like 3 to 4 10-minute breaks throughout the day. Just kind of schedule them based on what the week looks like right then and there. So that way, when that day comes, you have 10 minutes to do something that works for you, whether it's moving, journaling, again, just closing your eyes. I mean, it seems silly and like it doesn't do much, but it really does.
Right. And you just said something is so important. Mm-hmm. Taking a time out for lunch. How guilty are we of eating our lunch right at the same computer, doing a working lunch for probably the last year in a pandemic, right? Really shutting off and going to a table or eating outside and just really getting away. I'm so guilty at that. And I really want to get better at not eating and working at the same time.
Absolutely. And while that might not seem like such a bad thing at the time, you're like, oh, here I am being productive, I'm getting my lunch. Well, guess what, guys? Over time, eating on the run, so to speak, or even if you're multitasking, it's actually going to wreak havoc on your digestive system because you're taking away energy from your stomach, right? So what you're eating is kind of going down into your body, not getting digested as well as it should. So this can show up as bloating, reflux, irregular bowels, but also you're not going to be getting the nutrients as efficiently as you could otherwise. So again, down the road, or even right now, you might notice that you get a little bit more bloated or distended or uncomfortable than you normally would. And then, so it's kind of like you can almost do a test. You can almost be like, all right, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to see what happens if I take the time, like 25, 30 minutes, shut my computer off, or even just go to a different location in the house, take the time to eat your meal, whatever it is, and see how you feel.
Yeah. I want everyone to do that tomorrow and report back on this video. Okay?
And again, the funny thing is there are things known as like eating meditation and walking meditation. So you can actually use part of that time that you're eating to get meditation in. Because what are you doing? You're not focusing on anything but eating the food. So again, you're in the same meditative state. You're still getting that relaxation. You're still getting all those endorphins and neurotransmitters going on in your brain that you would get from some guided meditation, but you're simply focusing on what's in front of you, on taking that bite, on chewing it, right? That's actually considered a type of meditation. Yeah. So think of it like a 2-for-1. So if you're the kind of person who's like, I've got to be productive, I've got to be efficient. Well, here you go. Here's a 2-for-1. That's going to be good for your health.
Yeah. I love that. Yes, this was amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarah. You gave us a lot of nuggets, and I really hope the ladies take it, apply it. Just don't listen and say, that's so great. Apply it. You have to try all of them at one time. Just try one. Like tomorrow, everyone, we're not eating our lunch by our computer. That's the first step.
Exactly. And again, like Melissa said, just block the time, 10, 15-minute increments. Start messing around with what, you can do to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Dr. Sarah. It was amazing. You're always one of my favorites.
Thank you. I appreciate being on. I always enjoy talking to you as well. And again, as you could probably tell, this is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's so important. And unfortunately, it's so prevalent.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, listen, make sure we're balanced. Again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's so important to make sure that we're all the way together, just not for this month, but the rest of the year. June is like basically a week away, and or a couple of days away, honestly. And we would hit 6 months into 2021, and that's a great way to reflect. What have you done half of the year, and what have you not done? And so let's now, everyone did everything in January 1st. Resolutions. So here's your reset. You got 6 months to say, like, I'm really going to apply this and put it into action. And promise you, these things will definitely make you a better boss, a better mother, a better family member, and a better leader overall. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you have an amazing, amazing evening and a great holiday weekend. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.